Thank you for being here for this webinar CPD talk by guest speaker Priya Dilchan, who's been around for about almost 10 years now in the industry. She's an awesome speaker. I've known Priya for a few years now, but we really got spoken really last week. So today's topic will be leading with emotional intelligence. Priya Dilchan is the founder and Managing Director of Success Strategies Consultant Limited. So Priya, thank you to be on board today with us.
Thank you very much, Anil, for having invited me.
No problem at all. So the agenda today will be, we'll do a quick housekeeping. We're starting almost now with a 5 minutes introduction from myself. There'll be a part 1, 45 minutes intro on emotional intelligence by Priya. Of course, we'll intervene when. Please get your questions as well as we can reply to them. I will see if we can try to get the question over in between the presentation. There'll be some Q&A as well in 15 minutes. We start at 4:45 for our brothers who actually and sisters who are fasting, starting as from Saturday. So quick housekeeping. Some of you who are new on the screen, when sharing screen, view option PC is top of your screen. You can see you want to have side panel or a bigger screen. The audio is on the left-hand side of the screen. Raise hand icon. Of course, if we need any surveys or anything, and ask you if you're saying something or confirming something, just raise the hand. Already some participants are doing it, so thank you very much indeed. And there will be also a Q&A tab where you can put your questions in as we go through the presentation. And there will be also the section where the leave meeting is on the right-hand side if you want to leave the meeting quietly. I'm hoping you're not going to be bored by it. Just in case if you have any personal problem, you want to leave the meeting, it's just on the right-hand side of the screen. There will be a survey as always. The survey is really good and it's really like looking at how do we interact with you, how do we engage with you. So this will be really important as we get through to the survey section. So thank you, Priya. I can't thank you enough for your time, effort, all as part of giving back to colleagues in the industry. We have also 20% who is not in the construction industry, so I'm sure they will all be benefiting from you today. Certificate attendance, it will be a 1-hour certificate of attendance, which I will issue. Please email me after the event. Just send me an email, say, Neil, can I have my certificate? You will get it right away from me as well. It's going to be 1 hour plus CPD for today. There will be a copy of slides, so Priya will kindly show you the slides after the event today. Who I am, I think I'm bored of saying that, but love construction, love learning, love sharing, love people. I've also been asked by my wife to say I love her too, so love my wife. Moving on quickly, I've got a quote quickly, which for many of us, although it's transferable to all skill in the construction industry. The interpersonal aspect of emotional intelligence focuses on how people relate to others and the environment. To ensure top performance of an organization, employees must be able to communicate effectively. Organizations are now demanding that employees possess increased level of EI skill as teamwork and trustworthiness enhance. As the construction industry becomes increasingly more collaborative, teamwork or group performance become absolutely critical. Fortunately, emotional intelligence has been linked to higher group performance. And again, the authors' names are there. When emotions enter into a group situation, any response by any member affects the relationship among all members, generating more information, so creating more bitterness, if you like. Therefore, to promote group effectiveness, it is important for members of the group to exhibit appropriate and emotionally intelligent responses. Okay, and this is a bit where which I found on the same journal from CIOB, and the authors' names are below. Another beneficial aspect to note about emotional intelligence is that it is an intelligence. That's it. It is an intelligence. As such, emotional intelligence can be improved through maturity and training. Research completed by Fabio Sala support this statement. The result of Sala's studies demonstrate a marked improvement in emotional intelligence of individuals who participate in emotional intelligence training program. So I want to show you a quick video before I formally introduce Priya Dilchan. Here we go.
Workers happier and more productive. A Bucks County construction company is embracing emotional intelligence to help employees.
Health reporter Stephanie Stahl shows us how it works in tonight's Healthline.
That's right. This is a cool story, guys. You know, this is the kind of intelligence that goes beyond IQ smarts. Emotional intelligence is about being aware of and understanding how other people feel. Experts say it usually makes for a better work environment, no matter what you do. There's a stereotype about people who work in construction being tough guys. Yes, it's physically challenging, and there's something else.
We are constantly surrounded by conflict and stress.
It's an emotional powder keg. A simple measurement flaw can throw a whole job into chaos. There's a lot of job burnout and substance abuse. EDA Contractors in Bensalem has this solution.
Present here.
This is emotional intelligence training.
Let's feel our feet on the floor. The construction industry is extremely demanding, and people are emotionally stimulated often. We want to give them the skills, be able to handle those situations.
Pat DeAngelis, the leadership coach at EDA, is known as Aunt Pat because she's the boss's aunt.
And I really wanted to make this company more of like a family, like a community. Emotional intelligence was a big part of how we're going to make people be happier.
It's definitely made things more productive and just a better work environment in general.
EDA Superintendent Vinnie Marino, who's a lifelong union carpenter, never thought job training would include lessons on breathing.
It's mind-blowing.
If they simply remember to take a breath, nice deep breath, it literally puts us into the relaxation mode. And so our heart rate goes down, our blood pressure goes down, we become calm, and we think much more logically.
It's helped me out with myself. It's helped me out to try to create like a positive work atmosphere.
And the company says the emotional intelligence training has paid off financially with improved productivity and fewer delays and mistakes. You know, some of the guys said when they first started talking about emotional intelligence, they're like, what?
Yeah, right.
And they started doing it, and it's like they're all on board. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
It really does.
Take a moment. Take a
Okay, so that was a little presentation. Priya, can you hear us okay still?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. So that was a small video from America where companies are looking at training their staff to be emotionally intelligent, especially in the construction industry. You know, it's really, really important that we look into that as well. Okay, so the presenter today is Priya. Thank you again, Priya. I can't thank you enough to be here. So Priya Dilchan is the founder and managing director of Success Strategies Consultant Limited. She conducts several corporate workshops every year and has already worked with employees of more than 100 companies in Mauritius. Her training session on emotional intelligence, leadership, sales, success principle, goal setting, and peak performance are meant to bring about positive change in the professional life of people and increase in the performance. Priya is also a corporate and life coach, and she provides guidance to clients in USA, Europe, and Mauritius on personal and professional development and help them maximize their potential to achieve growth and success. Before establishing Success Strategies Consultant Limited, Priya has had a very successful career in the financial sector. She worked as a fund manager in many of the big companies in Mauritius for almost 10 years. Priya holds a master's in management from l'École supérieure de commerce de Toulouse, which is Toulouse Business School in France, and undergraduate degree in economics from Université des Sciences Sociales de Toulouse, again in France. Priya is also a certified law of attraction practitioner and a trainer from the Law of Attraction Training Center, USA, and she's registered MQ trainer in the field of management. So everybody, can you please put your hands up, please, your little icon for Priya, as we appreciate for her time today. So lots of hand for you today, Priya, as we can see, as we can go up. So over to you, Priya. I'm going to stop sharing. And then if you can share your screen, please, as we start with your presentation formally. Take your time, no pressure, and off we go when you're ready.
Okay.
Okay, so we can see your screen. Awesome.
Okay, good, good. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for your presence today. And thank you very much, Anil, for having given me this opportunity to do this presentation on emotional intelligence with all of you today. And as you know, we will be talking a lot about emotional intelligence. And as Anil said, it is very important for people today to be emotionally intelligent, especially when we are dealing with difficult situations. As you all know, when we will be starting work after the lockdown period, many of us will be facing unknown situations. And in such situations, sometimes we don't know how to deal with these situations. And mostly when we don't know how to deal with situations, what happens? We have fears. Most people are governed by fears. And when we are in a state of fear, what happens? We are not able to take decisions in the most positive way. So emotional intelligence is one of the tools which will help us come out of a situation more easily so that we can continue to be productive, to be positive, to lead ourselves first, to control our emotions first, and then to control the emotions of all the people in our teams so that together we can continue to move forward. Okay? So we will start with the formal presentation. I will be explaining to you what emotional intelligence is, and I will be giving you examples about how to apply these techniques of emotional intelligence so that when you start working, you will already be able to apply them in your workplace. Okay? So, what is emotional intelligence? In fact, emotional intelligence is firstly the ability to identify your emotion, then to understand your emotion, and then to manage your emotion. I will go in details about all these terms before we continue, because it is, for most of you, I am sure, it is the first time you are hearing the term emotional intelligence. So it is very important for us to be very clear about what emotional intelligence is so that we can apply it better in our lives after we leave this seminar. Okay, well, this webinar, sorry. So what is emotional intelligence? We talk about the ability to identify our emotions. You know what happens? Let's say we are now in a situation, in an unknown situation for most of us. We are here experiencing something which can be very difficult for most of us. We don't even know what will happen after the confinement period is over. We don't even know what will happen to our jobs, to our business, to people working with us, and so on. And as I said before, fear comes in more easily. Okay, we have fears. We are feeling emotions of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, stress, and so on. When we talk about identifying our emotion means when I am in a specific situation, I am able to know in which emotion I am. I identify the emotion means I know, for example, I am in an emotion of stress. I am in an emotion of fear. You see, I am giving the exact word to the emotion that I am experiencing. I am able to identify the emotion. So the emotion does not come just like this, right? So I need to know, I need to understand why I am feeling this emotion. What is the cause of this emotion? For example, let's say I am feeling afraid, anxious.
Okay, I think there's a small problem on Priya's side. Can you hear me, everybody? Can you put your hands up, please?
In a negative emotion, I am able to shift from the negative emotion to a more positive emotion. Okay? But I know most of you will tell me, you know, it seems impossible. It's not like a switch, you put it on and off as you wish, right? But you know, if you are able to understand how you function, you will be able to do it with practice. You know, nothing is impossible. It all depends on your willpower, your willingness to apply certain techniques, and to be patient with yourself, to give yourself time. And you see, as you give yourself time with practice, you will be able to see results. So managing our emotions means what? When I know that I am in a negative emotion, instead of staying stuck in that negative emotion, I try to shift from the negative emotion to a more positive one. How can I do this? There are lots of techniques that we can use to shift our emotion. But for the sake of this presentation, I know that most of you are in this fearful state. And when we are stuck in fear, we will not be able to work productively, to work in an effective manner, individually as well as collectively. So when I am in this emotion of fear, what I need to know to do to manage my emotion is to be able to stay calm. Okay? To staying calm in a situation of stress, in an unknown situation like what we are experiencing right now, is not easy for most people, right? But as I said, it is not impossible. So one of the ways to manage our emotion is to be able to stay calm. And one of the techniques that you can use to stay calm is breathing technique. Okay, as you saw in the presentation, in the little video that Anil shared with you initially, there was a lady who was talking about breathing techniques. Breathing techniques works very well, and you don't need to go and do that breathing technique in a separate room for 30 minutes. No. In order to be able to feel calm, one of the ways you can do is that you just sit down, you take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, you say, calm, calmness. You breathe in calmness. Okay? And then when you exhale all these negative emotions like what you are experiencing, like, let's say, fears, anxiety, stress, uncertainty, whatever the emotion that you are experiencing. So how you do it? You count till 3, you say, calmness, you breathe in, and then you breathe out, you count till 6, you breathe out, stress, fears, and so on. You will see. Yes?
Can we do the breathing technique for 1 minute with the participant now? Maybe we can try that now live on Zoom. So if you can start with breathe in and breathe out, I want to do that with you, and we have 100 participants here. So let's do the technique now live. Let's do it.
Okay, sure. Okay. Sure, with great pleasure. Okay, ready, everybody? Okay.
Can you put your hands up, everybody, if you are ready for that? Can I have your hands up? Awesome. Everybody want to have a small session with you, Priya.
Okay, great. So let's start. Sit down calmly. Okay. Then breathe in. Breathe in. Count till 3. Okay. As you breathe in, say, inside of you, say calmness. You are breathing in calmness. 1, 2, 3. Calmness. Feel it inside of you. Then breathe out. Release. Release your emotions. Let's say it's fear. Release fear. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fear. You release your fears. Okay, you can do it 3 times in a row so that you can start experiencing this emotion of calmness.
So essentially, when you're saying breathe in, it's about breathing the calmness for 3 seconds, inhaling, exactly. And then breathe out fear.
Exactly. You can do this for different things. You can breathe in calmness. You can breathe in any other positive emotion that you want to feel.
And Priya, I've just got a question for you right now from one of the colleagues. Is meditation related to emotional intelligence?
You know, when we do emotional intelligence, we don't meditate. But if you feel, you know, different people function differently. But if you think that meditation is good for you and you are comfortable with that, fine. Okay, as long as you are getting positive results and as long as you are able to shift your emotion from negative to positive, fine. You know, emotional intelligence, there is no standard method. Each person is different, and what applies for me does not necessarily apply for you. So each person will need to see what is best for me. We will not impose anything on you.
Okay.
Emotional intelligence means I am intelligent according to what I am able to, when I am aware of my emotions, I know best why I am experiencing this emotion. No one can tell me what to do exactly to switch from that negative emotion to a positive emotion. It is up to me to find the appropriate solutions. We are here to help you, but we won't give you solutions. We will let you find the solution by yourself.
All right,
and
thank
when
you.
You see, when you find a solution which is good for you, you will accept it more easily and you will get results more easily.
All right,
Okay?
thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Good. With pleasure. So if you have other questions as I am going through this presentation, don't hesitate. It is very good to understand well so that when we end this webinar, it will be easier for you to apply in your daily lives. When we talk about emotional intelligence, you will see that we have emotions all throughout our life. It is not only applicable in your professional life. If you're able to manage your emotion, you will be able to manage your emotion in your professional life as well as in your personal life.
Okay.
And this will benefit you.
Priya, I've got another question for you because we want to make this as interactive as possible.
Okay, sure.
There's a question from a colleague here. I used to breathe in 8 counts. I used to breathe in 8 counts, hold my breath for 16 counts. So breathe in 8 counts, hold my breath for 16 count, exhale, obviously breathe out 32 counts, and it does relieve him. Is it an appropriate method? Is that a method okay for my colleague here?
Sure, as we said, it depends on you. Okay, there's no standard method for which is applicable to everyone. Each and every one of you will see what works best for him or her. Okay, so long as it works for you, it's fine.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And then one more question coming from the obviously I'll let you do your presentation as well, but another question is
just ask. There's no problem.
The other question is emotional intelligence a means of self-awareness? So
yeah.
What's your answer? Is EI a means of self-awareness?
Yes. In fact, yes, self-awareness is one of the areas of emotional intelligence. Knowing yourself, being aware of who I am, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, what do I do best in this world, what am I here for? All these form part of the first area of emotional intelligence. Later on, I will explain to you the different areas of emotional intelligence so that you will be able to better understand what exactly emotional intelligence is.
Okay. Just one more question before we move on. Then we can do the presentation as question comes in. So a colleague from South Africa is asking, how can you go about hiring people who do have EI? This can definitely demarcate one from the other candidate. I know this is a big answer. How can you go about hiring people who do have EI? Just few words, because I know you have your presentation, but few words.
Okay, you know, when people, when you see someone, you won't know whether he's emotionally intelligent or not. But there are certain characteristics that emotionally intelligent people do have. For example, one of the characteristics is that they are very confident. Okay, when they talk to you, they know how to communicate. They are charismatic people. It's a pleasure for you to hear them. They are passionate about what they are doing. They don't lie. When you ask them questions, they answer with confidence. So all these, there are lots of characteristics that you can read. So when you are aware of these characteristics, when someone comes to you for an interview, by seeing the person, by asking the question, by looking at his verbal and non-verbal communication, what he's saying verbally and what he's not saying, which you can read in his body language, tone, etc., you will be able to better understand whether he's emotionally intelligent or not.
Okay, Priya, thank you very much indeed for that. I will let you start. I know you've got quite a few. I could see this going on. So please continue, because I think it's a really, really interesting subject. So thank you for that.
Okay.
I'm getting another question, but I'm not going to interrupt you now. Please proceed with 2 more slides, and then we'll tackle the other question.
Okay, good. Okay, so as we said, emotional intelligence will allow us to better manage our emotions. As we gave you the technique of breathing, there are lots of other techniques that you can use to switch your emotion from negative to positive. We will, as we go through this presentation, we will be talking about the other techniques so that you can apply them according to what you feel is better for you. So when I am able to understand my emotion, it is only then that I will be able to understand and manage the emotion of my colleagues, the people around me. So long as I myself, I do not understand my emotion, I don't understand why I am feeling like this, I don't know the causes of my negative emotions, I will never be able to help others. I will never be able to understand others. So understanding yourself first is very important for you to be able to understand others. Okay, so we will move on the second slide, where I will explain briefly to you what are the 5 main areas of emotional intelligence. As I already said before, the first area of emotional intelligence is intrapersonal skills. What does this mean? What is intrapersonal skills? Intrapersonal skill is the ability for you to understand yourself, to know and manage yourself. When we talk about intrapersonal skills, we talk about self-awareness. Okay, I am aware, I know myself, I know myself, I know in which emotion I am. I know when I am passionate, I know what I do well. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And I accept myself with my strengths and with my weaknesses. Okay? In this area, there are lots and lots of things to talk about, but we won't have time to talk about all these in this workshop. I am just giving you a brief overview of the different areas so that you can better understand. The second part of emotional intelligence is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills is your ability to understand others, your ability to interact with others, have good relationships. When we talk about good relationships, it concerns firstly relationship with people at home, and of course relationship with your people with whom you work. Okay, like your colleagues, your clients, your suppliers, the different people you meet. If you're able to manage your relationships well, you will have a very high score in this second area. Okay, the third area is adaptability. Okay, ability to be flexible, adapt to change. Today, we are living in a situation which is unknown to all of us. Okay, we don't know what will happen after we start working, and we will be facing lots of changes, and we will need to adapt to these changes. If we are not able to adapt, what will happen? We will perish. Okay, so instead of fearing change, emotional intelligence shows us how to embrace change. Okay, when we are able to embrace change, we will be able to remain flexible, to move out of our comfort zone, to do things differently. And it is only when we do things differently in a situation which is unknown that we will be able to get different results. Okay, so the fourth area is stress management. Stress management, all of you know. Most of you are in the construction industry, engineering industry. You know very well what stress is. So emotional intelligence shows you how to manage stress, which small stressors which come every day, big stressors, all types of stress. Okay, and of course, one of the very important areas of emotional intelligence is mood. General mood. Are you able to remain positive in whatever situation you are facing? Yeah. Are you able to have a good mood even if you are meeting people who are very difficult to deal with? Let's say, I know you are in this industry which is very demanding, and sometimes you meet clients who are very, very difficult to deal with. Sometimes you can lose your control, use control of your emotion. But if you are emotionally intelligent, you will be able to deal with these people in a more positive way, so that instead you can continue to have a good relationship with that person and a good outcome concerning the result you want to get according to this person. Okay, so emotional intelligence comprises these 5 main areas. And what is important with emotional intelligence is that when you start working, what is important when someone is working, his competences, his academic qualifications, his experiences are very important, technical experiences, etc. He needs to know all these in order to be able to work in a productive manner. But only the IQ part, the academic part, the technical part is not sufficient. For a person to outperform in his field, that person needs to be emotionally intelligent. He needs to have a good IQ, but he needs as well to have a very good EQ. Okay, we measure emotional intelligence by the emotional quotient. But what is interesting with emotional intelligence, contrary to IQ, the IQ of a person remains more or less the same all throughout his life, right? Whereas emotional intelligence, it can be developed. Even if someone has a very low emotional quotient right now, near to zero, if the person becomes conscious and start doing certain things differently, you will see that that person will make progress rapidly.
Okay.
Okay, and when we know our emotional quotient, we will also know, according to these 5 areas, where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are, so that we will be able to adapt appropriate strategies in order to increase our quotient in one or several areas, as we have mentioned in this small presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Priya, just quickly, we're getting a few questions coming in after you've covered that, which is quite interesting. So there's a question for you here, whereby one of the colleagues from Rwanda is asking, obviously we are in COVID, we will get out of it soon, mental health being affected, we are worried about jobs and things. Do you think companies should embrace emotional intelligence as future session? You know, like when we have weekly progress meeting, should we have like emotional intelligence meeting where we all sit down and then try to understand our colleagues? What's your views on that? Of course, it will be more business for you, but what's your advice quickly on that?
Okay, you know, when you are facing this difficult situation, COVID, etc., after this, it's normal that as we say, we will be in an unknown situation. We don't know if we are going to be able to continue to have the same clients, if you will get the contracts that you were getting before, etc., etc., and we will all be in a more in a negative mental state than in a positive mental state. So doing meetings from time to time with your colleagues, with your co-workers, in order to boost the emotions of people will be very important. Doing meetings, as you say, to know the emotions of people. You know, in emotional intelligence, in the second area, when we talk about interpersonal skills, there is something which is very, very important, which is called developing empathy. Empathy means I put myself in the shoes of another person in order to understand why he is behaving like this. Not to judge that person, but to help that person. It is only when I know why he's behaving like this that I can be able to find solutions to help him get out of a situation. So if you want to do weekly meetings, regular meetings with your team members so that you can boost the morale of people, boost the emotions of others, yeah, that's perfect. That's very good, especially in this type of period.
Okay, thank you. Can we give you one more question before you move to the next slides?
Sure.
Okay, there's one very good question from my friend here, Victor. What type of behavior to adopt towards a person who gets nervous easily? So someone who's really nervous all the time, how do you tackle this person just to bring them and calm them down and start engaging conversation?
Yeah. When someone is like this, later on we will see a table. We call it the emotional scale. On this table, you will see all types of emotion, and there will be figures associated with these emotions. So when someone is in a negative state, for you to be able to calm that person down, if you are equally in a negative emotional state, you will never be able to calm down the person. It is only when you are calm that you can calm someone. Okay? Later on, when we go to that table, I will explain to you the different types, the different emotions, and what you need to do in order to always remain in control.
Okay.
So that instead of being influenced by the negative emotions of others, you will take control.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Because of course, Priya, what you've just mentioned there will be a lot of people nervous coming out from COVID-19, and we really need those skills, those little, nuggets and tips that you're giving us. So thank you. You can continue with the presentation, and we'll pick up another question after your next slide.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Priya.
With pleasure. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, it is very important for you to be aware of your emotions, to know your emotions. And in fact, people have two types of emotions: positive emotions and negative emotions. Sometimes people don't know what emotions they are in. It is very, very important for you to know in which emotion you are so that you can take control of that emotion. Like we say, let's say we are in this state where we are all feeling more negative than positive because of COVID-19. Okay? We don't know what will happen, but in such situation where we don't know what will happen, it's more easy to fall into a negative state than in a positive state. But in all situations, nothing is 100% negative. In all situations, there is something positive which comes out. If I continue to focus on all sorts of negative things coming, let's say I talk to my colleagues, and my colleagues are very negative about the situation. They have fears, they are stressed, they are worried, they are anxious, and so on. And what I talk with several people, and all people are just say, I don't know what will happen. What if we lose our jobs? What if we don't get business? If all people keep on talking like this, what will happen? Collectively in the workplace, everybody will be negative. And instead of coming out of a situation, what will happen? We will go more deeply into that situation. We will be stuck on the problem. So a problem, a situation in itself is not 100% negative. In all situations, there is the negative part and there is the positive side as well. There are problems, but there are also solutions. If I am stuck on the problems, I will never be able to find the solutions. So, when we are in a situation of crisis, it can be global crisis like we are experiencing, we will experience surely after the pandemic. So when we are in this situation, you will see that not all companies go out of business. There are companies who continue to be profitable. There are lots of companies who thrive, right? Yeah. So why these companies thrive? There are people who are very successful in such periods. So why? we are all facing the same situation. You agree with me? We are all in the same situation, right? The situation in itself is not the problem, because it is a problem for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is the problem? The problem is my mindset. Am I focusing on the negative side of a situation, or am I focusing on the positive side of a situation? By positive side of a situation, I mean the opportunities. People who come out of difficult situations are people who don't stay stuck in problems, but they look for opportunities in the most difficult situations. So it is my mindset which will make the difference. The situation, as we said, will be the same for everybody. But the difference between the person who is successful and the person who is unsuccessful is his mindset.
Okay.
The difference between a company which is profitable and a company which goes out of business is the mindset of people working in that company. Okay, so in a situation of crisis, we need to be able to collectively have a positive mindset, and to be able to have a positive mindset collectively, the work starts with me. I cannot wait for my colleague to be positive for me to be positive, right? I need to start working on myself. So I need to take control of my emotions.
Okay.
Remain in the positive emotion most of the time. You know, when we talk about emotional intelligence, the emotionally intelligent person is the person who is able to control, to manage his emotion, who is able to switch from negative to positive. This does not, however, mean that a person who is emotionally intelligent will not have negative emotions. We are all human beings, and we will all have negative and positive emotions. But the difference between a person who is emotionally intelligent and a person who is emotionally unintelligent is that on average, the person who is emotionally intelligent spends most of his time on average in positive emotions than negative emotions. To start becoming emotionally intelligent, let's say during one day, if I observe myself, I can be, for example, 51% of my time in positive emotions and 49% in negative emotion. Positive is more than negative in this case, but it does not stop here. We need to make a continuous effort to increase that percentage, replace our negative emotions with positive emotion.
Okay.
I know most of you, it's not easy.
Pruna, just a quick question. Just a quick question as I'm getting through. We've got a very interesting question. Again, because what you've just mentioned. Our youngest member on this platform right now is 10 years old. So he's currently watching us, 10 years old. And the question that leaked from John, can emotional intelligence be taught? I mean, can I become a really good emotional intelligent leader? In few words, can that be taught to all of us here?
Yes, yes, the answer is yes. As we said, when I was saying before, your IQ remains the same, more or less the same all throughout our life, right? But our emotional intelligence, our emotional quotient, we can work on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
So if someone, the youngest person attending this course is 10 years. And it's very good, because if we knew these techniques when we were young, when we were at school, we would not have been facing many of our problems today. Okay. So if one starts early, it is very good, because, you know, at school we learn lots of things which allow us to earn a living, right? But emotional intelligence shows us how to live a life.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
You see? So if that person is 10 years, it's very good.
But I think what you just said there, emotional intelligence demonstrate or show us how to live a life as opposed to earn a living. I think that's really powerful. Thank you very much, Priya. Obviously, please continue with your slide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, as we said, we have positive and negative emotions, and we will need to be more in control of our emotions in order to be able to continue to perform in a positive way in our personal as well as in our professional life. So that as a result, we will be able to help others as well to be more positive than negative. But how do we get emotions? What are the triggers of our emotions? Okay, emotions don't just happen like this. There are reasons which make us feel positive or negative. So what are these causes of our emotions? What are the causes of our emotions, positive or negative? The causes can be the situations we are facing, the circumstances in which we are living, or even the people with whom we are interacting. Okay, when I meet someone, maybe that person is very negative. Okay, that when I meet that person, if I am not able to control my emotion by looking at him, by talking to him, maybe he's a very angry person, etc. He can transfer his anger on me if I don't know how to control my emotion, right? So when I meet someone or when I am in a difficult situation, the situation in itself does not trigger that emotion in me. You know what triggers emotions in us? Triggers emotions in us.
So emotions, there are many factors, but you just put me on spot right now. But it's a difficult one to answer. Maybe yeah, you just can.
Yeah, sure. I just asked because you know what triggers our emotions? It's our thoughts.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, our thoughts. A situation in itself has both the positive and the negative side. If it was the emotion, it was a situation which was triggering the emotion, all of us would have had the same emotion when we were facing a difficult situation, right? But why is it that some people face the situation by focusing on the positive side, and why is it that some people look more at the negative side? It is because of our thoughts. When I am facing a situation, the situation in itself is neither positive nor negative. It is my thought about the situation which makes the situation positive or negative. Okay? And all throughout my life, all throughout my day, I have thoughts.
Yeah.
And individual never stop thinking.
And Priya, we can't stop thinking because our mind just virtually cannot stop. I mean, even just to share my experience, I often listen to podcasts in my car.
Okay.
While I'm listening in my car, still my mind just diverted off to somewhere else. And my podcast is blasting and I can hear the podcast, but my mind is just not here.
Sure, we all are like this. It's very difficult to control our thoughts. Okay. Just like now, we are all doing this webinar, but our thoughts are going in different directions, right?
Yeah,
it is very difficult for us to know what will be the thought which will come in my mind 1 second later, right? We are not in control of our thoughts. And you know that an individual has around 60,000 thoughts on average daily.
Sure.
Okay? 60,000 thoughts. I am talking about the average individual. Some people think much more, people think a little less, but on average, it's 60,000 thoughts per day. Wow. Okay? Among these thoughts, if you want to know the quality of a thought, you will see that 90% of these thoughts are unimportant. By unimportant, I mean, why is it raining today? Why is the door closed? Why is this like this? Why is this like that?
Or why people are coming out in lockdown?
Yeah, exactly. Lots of thoughts coming. 90% of these are unimportant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm talking about the average person. It does not necessarily apply to you. Okay?
Yeah.
So among the 10% thoughts which remain, 9% among these 10% are negative. Why are our thoughts negative? Because we are influenced by all sorts of negative factors around us. When we listen to radio, what do we hear? Negative news. When we watch the TV, we watch the news and etc. What do we see? Negative things. When we open the newspapers, what do we see? Negative things. When we talk about people, we ask them, how are you? They will say, I am well, but you know, I am still having problem with so-and-so. Right? We have been formatted like this.
Yeah.
Okay? So 9% of our thoughts are negative and 1% are positive.
Sure.
But it does not apply to you. It is the general pattern of thoughts of the average individual. Okay, so
Yeah.
now having a thought pattern like this, if we want to become emotionally intelligent, we need to be more in control of these thoughts. Because what do we want in our life? We want to have good results in different areas of our lives. And when we go back to work, we want to continue to remain successful even if the situation is not favorable. So if I am not able to control my thoughts, will I be able to control how will I be able to make my results become positive in my daily life? Very difficult, right? You will see that all results that we get in different areas of our lives depend on three things: our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Thoughts plus words plus actions equal results. And when we talk about results, they can be positive results as well as negative results. So let's say I go back to work and I want to continue to be productive, or whatever result you want. You can put this result as the outcome that you want to reach. In order to reach that outcome, your thoughts, your words, and your actions must go in the direction of your result. If, for example, I say I want to continue to get clients, this is my result. But when I look at the quality of my thought, when I observe my thought, I see that most of the time my thoughts are fearful thoughts. When I look at the quality of my thoughts, I see when I am thinking, what if these clients do not come? What if they don't agree to sign the contract with me? So what am I doing by thinking like this?
Yeah.
You know, I am sabotaging my own results.
Priya, just a quick one. I just want to ask you something quickly on behalf of the audience as well. We write loads of email every day, all of us here. We are emails coming back and forth, probably an average of 20 to 50 emails per day going to clients send us email, and we get copied by a lot of other people as well. Why is words so important? Because the word, when you read someone, if someone has sent you WhatsApp or text, it hurts so much. Why does word hurt so much? I want to know about that.
Words hurt so much because emotionally we get affected by that. We get influenced by that. We take those words personally. You know, when people use negative words to talk to us, when people are very negative, let's say you're having an interaction with someone and he's used the most negative words towards you, what happens? If you take that personally, it will definitely hurt you. Okay? But you know, people who use negative words, people who are very negative and transfer these negative words to others, it is not meant for you. It is because these people have not been able to control their emotions. You know, only people who are hurt will hurt others. Yeah. If you feel good, you will never hurt other people. But if you feel bad, it is only then that you will hurt people. So that's why we say hurt people, hurt others.
Yeah.
So being emotionally intelligent, you will need to not let these sorts of things not affect you. You know, most of the time, if we want to be really emotionally intelligent, we need to be in control of what is happening inside of us, irrespective of what is happening outside of us. But most of the time, what happens? We get influenced by what is happening outside. When we talk about outside things, we talk about situations, we talk about people, we talk about circumstances. If I am not in control of the external factors, I will not be able to control myself. I will let external factors control me, and by letting external factors control me, I am giving power to these external factors to control me. But if, irrespective of what is happening in the outside world, I am able to control what is happening inside of me, I am able to manage my emotion, it is only then that I will be in control of my world. I am not talking about being in control of the world. I am talking about being in control of my world, because my world does not take place in the outside world. My world is internal. You will see that most of it, but for all of us, our lives do not never take place in a physical place, in the place we are. Our lives take place in our head. What am I thinking about this situation? What am I thinking about this person? You see? So if I want to be in control of what is happening, I will never be able to change external factors. I can only change what is happening inside of me. I can only change my internal function, what is happening inside of me. It is only then that I will be able to respond positively to the situation.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Priya. Thank you for enlightening us on that.
No, it's a pleasure. So when we talk about thoughts, going back to that equation, so when you will be going back to work, you will need to be in control of your thoughts to be able to attain results. And as we say, it is very difficult for us to control what we will be thinking next, right? So one of the ways to keep our thoughts in the right direction is focus. Okay, let's say, when are we more focused? Many people say, you know, I am more focused when I am in a stressful situation, when I have strict deadlines. Why is that so? It is so because when these people are in that situation, they have no time to think about anything else. Let's say the deadline is tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Do I have a time to think about the weather? Do I have the time to think about unimportant things? No. It is when that I need to be focused. So why wait for deadlines to be focused? Why not start now? But in order to start now, I need to be very clear about the results that I want to reach. What are the goals that I want to reach, so that I can always keep that in my mind and develop very sharp focus. Okay, do not let thoughts wander in different directions.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about the second part of the equation, we are talking about words. As you said before, there are people who use negative words to communicate with us. But in this equation, we will talk about the words we use. When we are talking, we are using two types of conversation. Conversation with others, but conversation with ourselves also. Self-talks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to control what I am saying to others. If, let's say, my end result is to continue to stay profitable even in this difficult situation, But when I talk to my clients or I talk to my colleagues, I tell them, you know, I don't know what we need to do to reach this result. I don't know whether we will be able to do the right things to reach this result. What am I doing? Again, I want to have a positive result, but when I am talking, my talks are negative. Will this allow me to reach that result? No. You see, my thoughts, my words must be in the same direction. Instead of talking about such things, I need to talk about things that will empower me. Empower me and empower others. Not disempower words.
Okay.
Okay. Should control. Yeah.
Priya, just to let you know, we have 10 minutes left because obviously I know it seems like you can talk till midnight on emotional intelligence. We wish we can do more workshop, but we've got about 10 minutes to wrap up your slides and then we'll take some question and answers. Yeah.
Sure. And so, yeah, when we talk about this, we need also to take the right actions. What do I need to do in order to reach that result? So if I am in control of these three different parts, I will be able to better focus and control my results. Okay, so now to go to the other side, which is very important for you as a leader and for you to be able to manage yourself, let's look at this slide. Okay, we call this an emotional scale. In this emotional scale, you will see that on the first column, it is written level and it corresponds to emotions. And in the second column, we have a figure, a number. All emotions from 0 to 200 correspond to negative emotions. And all emotions from 200 to 1000 correspond to positive emotions. The more negative your emotion, as you can see in this table, the lower will be the figure. Okay? And the more positive your emotion, the higher will be the figure. So just to explain this table briefly to you so that you can use it in your workplace, you need to be constantly aware of which emotion you are in to be able to know whether you are able to be in control of the situation or you are letting the situation or person control you. So if you are in a negative emotion, your power to be in control of your emotion, to be in control of what is happening will be weak, as it is written on the right-hand side. But if you are in a positive emotion, it is only then that you will be able to have a strong influence on yourself, on your emotions, and it is only then that you will be able to better help people around you. Let's say now we are in a situation which is very difficult. This COVID-19 situation is very difficult, and most people in Mauritius as well as around the world are operating at the fear level, fear state, which corresponds at level 100 on this table. Most people collectively are at this level right now. If you are at the level 100, and if everybody around you is at level 100, you will never be able to be solution oriented. You will be stuck more and more in the problem and no one will be able to help you. In order to be able to move out of a situation and become more solution oriented, you need to move up on this table. Okay? I won't go through this table because it will take too long. So I will tell you on this table, the easiest level to reach is level 300. 300 corresponds to happiness, feeling happy. Okay? Why is level 300 easiest to reach? Because we can find things in order to feel good, to be happy. I will give you a list of a few things that you can do to feel good. For example, when we talk about...
Priya, just quick one before we move on. If you just can go on your magnificent table that you showed us. I think I'm going to use that. I think it's really important. Let's see if you can go back. When you get to enlightenment, where it says 700 to 1000, ineffable, pure consciousness, how do you get there? I mean, what do I need to do to get there?
Okay, you know, this is the state that people like Jesus, Buddha have reached.
Whoa, okay.
And being in this world, materialistic world, it is very difficult for us people to reach that level. It is not impossible. No level is impossible on that scale, but it's up to you. What's your aim?
Okay. All right,
Okay.
Priya, thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. So the easiest level to reach is level 300, and this will be your job when you leave this webinar. Okay, what you can do is make a list of 50 things that make you feel good. When we say 50 things, most of the time when we do workshops, people look at us with big eyes. They say 50 things, my God, it's impossible. But when we say 50 things, it's things that are very simple. We are not saying you should put as things like when I take the plane, I feel good. When I travel to X so and so places, I feel good. No, not these kinds of reasons. We want you to have the simplest reasons you can find, like taking a cup of coffee, talking to colleagues, watching TV, playing with your kids, and so on. Why? It is because when you're feeling negative, instead of staying stuck in that negative situation, negative emotion, what you do one of the things in your list that will allow you to shift from that negative emotion to a more positive one. Okay? Yeah. When you will see that when you come back to work, you will feel better. But what is important is that when you do that thing, when you are in a state where you are negative, you do not need to remain in that state eternally. You need to be able to shift. And one of the easiest way to shift is to do one of the things that make you feel good.
Okay. Priya, just quick one on that. Out of all these 8 items you've showed us, I want you just to elaborate a little bit on item number 3, reading. Why reading is so important to all of us now hearing you? Why is it so important?
You see, reading, it can be important for some people, but not for others. As we said, this is just an example. Okay, for each and every one of us, the list will differ. As we said, emotional intelligence is not something standard. It's something which is tailor-made for each and every one of you. You need to find out what are the reasons that make you feel good. But to come to your question, reading is good right now because they will allow us to get new ideas. Reading does not mean that we all need to read the same things, the same type of books. All of you can read things that make you feel good. Some of you can read things that will make you laugh. Some of you can read novels. Some of you can read to improve one of your skills. But some people like reading, but others don't like. You know why this is so? Because all of us do not function the same way. There are certain people who are visual. They like to read. They like to see things. Some people are auditory. They don't like reading, but they like to listen to things, to recordings and so on. And some people are kinesthetic. Kinesthetic means that they like to experience things in order to learn. So depending on which style is yours, you will go accordingly. So if a person wants to improve his knowledge and he is auditory and he does not like reading, he can listen to audiobooks. Yeah. You see?
Okay, so, thank you, Priya.
Pleasure. So this list is not standard. Don't use this list and apply it to you. Make your own list. I have only given you certain examples in order to make this exercise easier for you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much indeed, Priya. Yeah.
Pleasure. So to go to the last slide to explain to you a little bit about you and your workplace, if you want to be a leader, you need to apply these techniques in order to, first of all, control yourself and then be in control of the emotions. This has started.
Okay, so Priya, what we're going to do, I know there's the alarm for the fasting. So we'll put you on mute and then I will show some slide while Priya will be on mute for a few minutes, yeah? And then I'll get back because there's Priya live near mosque, so there's some sound for the fasting as well. So Priya's on, are you on mute, Priya?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes. So put your mute and then I'll share my screen quickly. as I'll share my one. So as we, yes, so, okay. So we're just gonna, I can see question coming in. Everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, put your hands up, please. Really appreciate if you can put your hands up. Thank you very much. So Priya, well, you can hear me, of course, but when the noise is over, let me know. But I'm just gonna, I've got the question which I'm gonna go through. But in the meantime, I wanna do a quick survey while we wait for Priya to come back. So first question is, everybody can participate, is were you aware of emotional intelligence before the presentation? I'll give you 30 seconds to think of it, but we have a really active participants, so everyone is on it, and it's really important I get your true and honest opinion regarding were you aware of emotional intelligence before the presentation? Okay. So I'm going to share the result with you. End of polling. I'm going to share the result with you. Just one sec as I just type in this as well. Okay, so I share the result. Everybody can see my result, please. Hands up, please. So 60% or 59% is saying yes, but 40% were aware of emotional intelligence. And for us, this is important between me and Priya because it just shows why we are doing what we're doing right now. I'm going to launch the second slide. When Priya is ready, she can let me know. So I'm going to relaunch the next polling. Okay, so end of polling. The next question is understanding. So I'm going to launch the polling. Again, can I have your feedback, please? Do you understand emotional intelligence better now? Though this was, 45 minutes. I know we've got 15 minutes more to go with Priya. Okay. Wow. Amazing, Priya. So I'm going to share the result. 96%. Do you understand emotional intelligence better now? 96% is saying yes, we do know about it. And 4%, of course, we will give you some more slides in the next few sessions once Priya is over. So fantastic. Let me share the third one. Again, guys, it's important we have your honest opinion as we go through. So let me relaunch polling, stop share, and I'm going to issue the third one. So the third one is a really important question, and it's about emotions management. So let me launch polling again. Do you think you can better control your emotion now? Of course, many of you are in different field of work. Lots of you in the construction industry, some of you are in corporate environment. Can you now manage your emotion better based on the survey now? Okay, just waiting to come. Okay, so I'm just going to end polling and share result. Can you see the result? So 86% of you say you can manage your emotion better, which is fantastic. Again, so Priya, are you ready, or do we do one more question? Okay, so Priya is ready. So we have 2 more questions to go. These questions will be answered after Priya. So I'm going to stop result. Thank you very much indeed. And it's over to Priya. So Priya, back to you to share your slides and give or take. So this CPD will be for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So give or take, Priya, 5 more minutes on your side before we conclude. Okay, let me just unmute you now. Can you hear us? We can't hear you, Priya. Now we can, yes, we can.
Okay,
you
good.
can share your screen as well.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Priya, we can, your screen is being uploaded. So thank you very much indeed. And then if we can get back to your slide, I think we can see the thank you bit.
No,
just
no.
the one before, yes.
Yeah.
We won't let you go yet. We want to know about the qualities of good leaders. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, if you can just do the slideshow.
Okay.
Awesome. We have 100 candidates, 100 participants with us right now. Thank you for being here, everybody. But what you just showed in terms of the poll survey, 80% plus is benefiting from what Priya just taught us. So Priya, please continue, and thank you very much indeed so far till what we get to. Thank you.
Thank you again. So let's continue with how to be what are the characteristics of an emotionally intelligent leader. When we talk about being a leader, it does not mean that you need to be managers only. Leaders means that I lead in my field. I lead in my field of work. Whatever job I am doing, if I am able to do it with passion, I am able to do it in a very good way, I can be the leader in my field. So when we talk about emotional intelligence for leaders, leaders are people who are able to successfully manage any situation. They don't let external situations control them, but they know how to control their internal, what is happening inside of them, and as a result, they are able to be more solution-oriented than problem-oriented. They don't stay stuck on problems. They don't become victims of situations. Okay, so they are able to move out more rapidly. And when they move out rapidly, they are able to help others as well, their colleagues, etc. So another thing which is very, very important being an emotionally intelligent leader is to express yourself clearly, communicate clearly. Communicating clearly does not mean that I only say what I need to say in details. Communicating clearly means I know how to listen to others. In all communications, there are two parties. Okay, so in order to be able to communicate well with others so that they can I can understand them firstly, and they can understand what I want from them, what I expect from them, I need to understand how they function. Okay, so when we talk about expressing ourselves, we need to be able to develop that empathy part that we were talking about earlier, to understand in which emotions they are. If I feel that they are not comfortable, I need to know why they are not comfortable so that I can better help them. Okay? The other part of being an emotionally intelligent leader is leading by example. What does leading by example means? If I want to be a good leader, I need to give example, to be an example for others. Being a leader, I should not impose things on others. If I impose things on others, I am not a leader. I am more of a boss. And people will do things because they have to, not because they want to. But a leader who leads by example, people want to come to him for advice, not because they have to, because it's only because they want to. And this makes all the difference. And I think something which is very, very important being a leader is you need to be able to guide and coach others. When we talk about guiding and coaching others, this does not mean that you need to be equally good in their technical field. You only need to be there as a way shower. You need to show them the way and let them use their creativity to find solutions. Okay, you know, when we talk about guiding and coaching others, something which is very, very important for you to be able to motivate and inspire others and guide them is to know that we are all different. We are all unique. Just as we have different DNA, we have different fingerprints. Each and every one of you has something which we call a unique potential. There is something inside of you which only you can use. And this thing is there in you since you are born. This potential is in you since you are born. But unfortunately, most of us do not know about it. And this potential remains dormant all throughout our lives. Few people use them. I will give you an example just for you to be clearer about this. You know, individuals, we people will use about 10% of our capacity. Why? Because when you start working, what happens? You fall in a sort of routine, right? Look at the way you do your work. You go to work. It may not apply to all of you. For the majority of us, we go to work. We have a pattern which we follow. When we go to work, we put on our computer, we start answering emails, we go and take a cup of tea or coffee, we come and answer phone calls, we make reports, we call clients, blah, blah, blah. This thing goes on and on the same way. When we need to submit reports to clients, there is a standard format, a program which we use. We all input figures to send to our clients. When we need to send to another client, we use the same format, we change a few things. When we do things like this, what happens? We stay stuck only in that 10%. Okay, right. 90% remains dormant.
Yeah.
But what differentiates us from a genius? We are using 10% of our potential and we remain more or less average in what we do. But someone who is qualified as a genius does things differently. Instead of following a routine, he moves out of his comfort zone. He goes into the creative part of his mind to look at new ways of doing things instead of continuing to do things the same way over and over again. Okay, the genius uses 11% of his potential. Wow. We use 10% of our potential, and this 1% is our creativity. We all have a genius who is dormant inside of us. You all can be geniuses.
You've got a few minutes to wrap up.
Okay, so what do you do when when you are working? Look at your job and ask yourself, in my work, where am I passionate? Where is my passion? What am I passionate about? This will give you an indication where your genius is. And if you want to outperform in your work, start doing things differently. Maybe you are doing a report and you are using a standard method to do it, and you are taking 1 hour. If you use your creativity, instead of taking 1 hour, maybe by changing certain things, you will take only 30 minutes. This will give you 30 additional minutes to do something else. Just like you have this potential, maximize on your strength and allow your coworkers to do the same thing. Don't maximize on their weaknesses, but maximize on their strengths. If we all maximize on our strengths, it is only then that we will be able to outperform. But if we all maximize on our weaknesses, what will happen? We will never be able to outperform. Okay, so being a coach, give the person, a guide, a coach, give the power, give this power to people around you. Give this opportunity to people around you to maximize on their strengths. Okay, and what is also important is to empower others. Empower people means I put power inside of a person so that he can feel good, so that he can feel that what he's doing is important. And when we give people this type of feeling, what happens? They start feeling more confident. And it is only then that they will want to outperform. And what is very important also is to treat others with respect.
Yeah.
Here irrespective of what job someone is doing, we all deserve respect. We all deserve to be appreciated. We all have strengths and weaknesses. We all as individuals have positive as well as negative sides. And instead of focusing on the negative side of someone, start focusing on the positive side of a person and start giving him respect. When you give respect to others, others will respect you in return.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good?
Thank you, Priya.
So, with pleasure. So I have explained this very rapidly to you because I know we are limited by time. So if Anil has questions.
Okay, do you have your next slide? I think, do you have something on your next slides?
No, nothing concerning.
Okay, right. So thank you, Priya. I'm going to move on. Can we all have a hands up for Priya, please? A little emoji for sharing her wisdom, her experience. And I can see this, this is something we have to repeat. So let me share my screen quickly because we have got few more things to share with you. So just bear with us. Okay, everybody can see my screen quickly. So I've got the first question. We need to take questions quickly now, Priya. I'm gonna take the first question. You did explain that earlier in terms of IQ. So just briefly, as compared to IQ, where does EQ stand during interviews? So many people will be looking to go to interviews post-COVID for whatever reason. Maybe they have time to contemplate on what is good for them during COVID, and they want to probably move employers. Obviously, job will be probably difficult now, but then they will move. So what's your advice in terms of where does EQ stand during interviews?
You know, when you are interviewing someone, you want to recruit someone for a job, his technical experience, his qualification is very important because this will allow him to do the job. But what is very, very important is the EQ part. Because if someone is very good academically, but he is not able to communicate well, he is not able to manage difficult situations well, he is not able to manage stress, he loses control of his emotion, what will happen? He will not be able to work with everybody in a harmonious way. And in the workplace, we don't need only technical competences, we also need someone to be able to be part of a team. So when you're interviewing people, you need to put your focus on that as well. And as I already said before, this is we can go very much in detail in this part to reply this question, but we don't have enough time to go in details in this. So what I can tell you is that when someone comes to you for an interview, what you need to look is when you're asking that person questions, look at the way he's answering. If when he's answering to you on difficult parts, he's looking at you, you know that person is confident. Try to read his verbal communication as well as non-verbal communication. Like if a person is replying to you and he's looking at you in the eyes, it means that he's confident about what he's saying. But if the person is replying to you and he's looking elsewhere, it means somewhere he's not very comfortable with what he's saying. Maybe he's lying. So all these will give you clues about whether the person is comfortable, is confident, and so on. But also when you are asking questions, ask questions about where you will know whether the person is really passionate about job. Ask him questions about his interactions with people. Ask him questions about your industry, where stress can come, and ask him how he will manage these types of situations. You see, the answers he will give you tips.
Okay.
That person will be able to manage emotions.
Thank you. Incredibly invaluable advice from you, Priya. I'm just going to move on to the next question. The next question is this is from our friend Vincent, and how to control our emotion, angers, and worries while facing situation in our daily life. So again, I know this is a vast question. It comprises a number of issues, but how do we control our emotion just to make sure that we don't upset people.
Okay, in order to control our emotion, first of all, we need not continue to focus on all the negative things around us. Watch less news. We are not asking you to be cut off completely from news. We need to be aware of what is happening, but we don't need to continue to be focused on what is happening, to continue reading about the same thing over and over again, to talk about it to people over and over again. But we know what is happening, but we shift from that. We go and do things that make us feel good. If you are angry, move away from the situation. Go and do an exercise which will calm you down before replying to people. Okay,
that's very important. That's very important, Priya, what you mentioned, because many times we get email which frustrate us, especially in the construction industry, where there's lots of contractual issues, where there might be difficult client or difficult project managers even, where they will send you email without thinking, and then your emotion creeps up. How would you advise people here listening to us today about how do we deal with it? Once we get the email on screen, we want to reply back in red, 50 fonts, say, I don't agree. How do you deal with that?
Yes, when you are facing this type of situation, the best thing to do is not to reply immediately.
Okay.
In a negative emotional state, don't answer anyone. Move out of this situation. Go and do something else. When you feel calm, then you reply. But there is another very important technique, good technique, which most people use to move out of this situation is when you're facing this situation, take a sheet of paper. Okay? Write down what you would have replied to that person on that sheet of paper, but don't reply on that email. Use all the words you want, any language you want. It's for you. You need to.
That's a valuable advice you've said, because I've never heard of this. We do get lots of email where we want to reply back, but take a sheet of paper and then ponder, think about it, what you want to say in a much more calm manner, if you like.
No, when you are replying, don't put everything that you wanted to reply, even the most negative things. What is important is that you take this out of your system. Okay, you remove this from inside of you.
Excellent. So whatever you have, put it on paper. At least it's there, and then maybe you can think about it after an hour, 2 hours once you cool down.
No. If you think about it, what will happen? You will continue to stay in that negative emotion. What you do, when the person has sent you an email, you don't reply to him. You take a sheet of paper, you make as if the person is in front of you, or you are replying to the person. Put everything you want, the most negative word you want, whatever you want. It is only for you. What is important here is that you are removing this emotion from your system.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? You are creating space in order to be calmer so that you can find the appropriate words to reply to him afterwards. You need to do that exercise, and when you do this exercise, when you end this exercise, take as many pages as you want. When you finish this exercise, you must feel relieved. You must, inside of you, feel as if it's empty inside. I feel good. Your feeling will give you an indication of whether you are being able to control your emotion or not. If you still feel negative, it means that you have not been able to remove everything out of your system. So what you do, you continue writing. Continue writing, and when you think that it's over, you're feeling better, what you do? You take these sheets of paper and you tear them, you throw them away. As if I am removing this from my system.
Okay.
It's over now. When you are you will see that you will be in a better position to reply. And when you answer the person, you won't feel that same negative emotion that you were feeling before.
And Priya, just on for the audience as well, how long would that take? Once you get the email, would it be half an hour or an hour?
No, for some people it's 5 minutes, for some people it's 10 minutes. It all depends on the resentments you are having concerning that person. You need to take all these resentments out. If you still have resentments, you won't be able to answer in a constructive manner.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much indeed. I'm just going to pick up a quick question on the, there is question on the tab. So I'm just going to take question quickly here. There's question from John again. How do you assess your own EI? Is there an app? Is there something that, how do you assess your own EI?
There are different tests that can be done. There are certain tests on the internet. When we do workshops, we do tests to measure the emotional intelligence of people. But let's say that you don't have this possibility right now. What you can do, during 1 week, try to observe your emotion. What you can do every day when you wake up in the morning, take a sheet of paper. On this paper, write down the date, and then make 3 columns on this paper. In the first column, put the time. In the second column, put the emotion. And the third column, put the reason. After each hour, try to see in which emotion you are. Okay, let's say I wake up and I am feeling happy. Let's say I wake up at 7. At 7, in the first column, I put 7 o'clock. In the second column, I put happy. And in the third column, I need to find the reason. Okay, let's say because I will be having a very good lunch today. Okay, after 1 hour, I try to find out in which emotion I am right now. Let's say I am going to work. Okay, and on the road, I am stuck in traffic jam. And I am very angry. At 8 o'clock, what happens? I put 8 o'clock and I put anger, irritation, anger in the second column. And the reason is traffic jam. Okay, I go on like this all throughout the day. Before going to sleep, what do? I try to find out on average in which emotion I was most of the time. Was it more positive or negative? If it was more negative than positive, it means that I still have lots of work to do. If it was more positive than negative, it means that on average, I am on the right way to become emotionally intelligent. But only one day won't give you a good overview of your emotional level. So what you need to do it at least during 1 week.
Yeah,
so
okay.
You can evaluate that yourself.
I'll take one last question because I'm getting lots of common questions. I've got lots of questions coming in. One of the question, which is probably the last, the penultimate question, so we'll take one more after this. Do you think many problems in our society can be solved if EIs come as a subject right from primary school? So if we were to introduce EI right from the early age of where we have the youngest participant today at the age of 10 years old, do you think EI is something that we need to include in our curriculum right from the beginning?
Yes, I would say yes, because look at us. We are adults and we know how to deal with technical things, but we don't know how to deal with ourselves. We don't know how to control our emotions. We don't know how to respond to situations. We go more on negative and positive when we face things that are unknown. There are many things that we don't know how to tackle. We don't even know in which emotion we are. But if right from the beginning at school it was introduced, today we would not have been in this situation.
Yeah, okay. And finally, a very interesting question is, what are the social skills? I think you've mentioned it anyway. What are the social skills required to improve your own EI? So what are some of the key skills?
In fact, there are many skills that you need to know to be able to control your, to improve your EI. First of all, being aware, know yourself. Okay, knowing yourself is the most important part. If you come to know what are my strengths, many people don't even know that they have strengths. They keep on focusing on their weaknesses, and as a result, at work, they become people with very low self-esteem, low self-confidence. So you need to work on yourself first before being able to work on your other skills like social skills or interpersonal skills. So what I would advise people is to start working on yourself. No, observe yourself. How you are reacting. Am I negative? Am I more positive? What can I do to become more positive? If I want to improve certain things, what are the skills I need to improve? I don't mean only emotional intelligence skills, but maybe let's say I want to perform better at work, but I lack certain skills. I want to improve my skills in such and such things concerning my technical skills. I need to know what I need to improve in order to get that confidence. I need to know what am I passionate about. Where, you know, when we talk about being passionate, it is something which is already inside of us. There's something inside of us only you can do. I cannot do it better than you. No one can do it as well as you do. So this thing, you will get an indication about this part when you do something with passion. Each and every one of us can put ourselves into question and ask ourselves, what am I passionate about? Okay, start learning, knowing more about yourself. You know, this first part of emotional intelligence, knowing yourself, you can take your whole life learning. No one can know himself fully.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Priya. I've got some survey which I want to do. We've got 2 more survey. So I'm gonna ask the audience, and then we'll ask the word of wisdom from Priya as well. So I'm gonna go on the number 4. So the number 4, we already voted for number 3, 4. So I'm gonna launch this one. And the question is, can you look for opportunities in situation now that you're trained in, not trained, but we had a workshop, a more of an awareness. So can you now see yourself as being emotionally intelligent and just, you know, try to do things smartly? So I'm gonna give you a few more seconds. 50 participants has already replied. Can you see the survey as well, Priya?
Yes, yes.
Yes, you can, excellent. So I'm gonna end polling. Some colleagues are still voting yes, no. So please put your question in. I'll give you 10 more seconds as we move on. So here we go. End the polling, share the result. And the result is 95%. I can say biggest smile on Priya. So again, this is working, and thank you very much indeed. And the last poll, the last survey, I'm going to stop sharing the result and relaunch. So it's about helping others. So are you willing to tap into your dormant potential now and help others, help your colleague, help colleagues in COVID-19 as well, manage their emotion better, talk to people in a respectful way. And obviously we have lots of employees working at home as well. So do you think now you can help that out? Again, very important in this climate we are under at the moment, which is truly unprecedented. So again, I'll give you 10 more seconds as we have already 70 participants replying. So yeah, we can see candidates coming in, and I will stop it there. So I'm going to share the result. It's a whopping 90-70%. I'm not making these figures up, by the way. So 97% is saying yes, we will help out. And then again, really, really interesting to see how Priya's workshop has helped us out today. So I'm going to do a final question, and then we move on to the last 5 minutes of conclusion. So I'll relaunch that polling again here. And the first is, were you aware of emotional intelligence before the presentation? I know some of you came up before. And already we are finding, yeah, so there's lots of candidate participants still sharing. Again, please put yes or no. Very important for us to know as we go along. Okay, so I'm going to share the result. So again, 61% said that yes, they were aware, and 40% said no, which is very important again for the audience. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm just going to conclude before we ask the final word of advice from Priya. So let me conclude. I think everybody has answered the question. I wanted to just say again, who enjoy their job. So maybe put your hands up, please, to see how many percent here enjoy their job. So we have 40, 50 participants, 52. So about 50% of you enjoy your job. And I think, Priya, what you've just mentioned there is often we arrive at work with a whole stack of things worrying us. Money, health issues, family, dispute, loan, marriage, and of course, laureate, you know, the laureate as well. So, you know, we have a tradition here in Mauritius. In February, we announced the result of all the best candidates in Mauritius, when really we have 99% of candidates who's done A-level. What about them? What about their emotions? So again, these are things that play up with emotion when we have these issues here. So just to touch up on this is where emotions happen as well. So where we need to have people with happy lives. So I just want to show you quickly one of my slides. I think I just want to share that with you. So maybe I need just to put that on bounce 8. Here you go. So from current slide. Here we go. So Priya, what you touch upon in the construction industry, we have pressure right from the outset. We meet deadline for various projects at any one time. This is where our emotions start getting, when you know you have few deadlines, you're speaking to one of your colleagues and you're upset because you're meeting different deadlines. Work within tight budget and time constraint and drive at productivity is also a factor from my experience where emotion goes up. Every project is different. So you do a project, many of you in construction, after a year, it's new people, new project, and you need to do new friends. Not enough time to bond, Priya, as well, where we meet a new team, we just don't have enough time to bond, to really kick it off. Conflict in meetings and email. How many times have you been in meetings where you're having conflicts with your colleague, and then everybody want to get out of it, and nobody want to be in that meeting? Already you have got 18 participants raising their hand. Again, these are the leaders who need to manage this meeting, make it more enjoyable. Dispute on the phone. Many of time you could just say yes to it and the phone will have end. But you didn't say yes, it was no, no, no. And then before you know it, it was a conversation for 1 hour, trying to justify or do something like that. So we need to be smart on how do we talk on the phone as well. And finally, as a result of that, it's just my screen blocking me, just bear with me. Hiding floating panel, yeah. So as a result, we can be unaware of the impact that we have on people. And when others express their dissatisfaction or become uncooperative, defensiveness and sensitivity can be the outcome. So again, everything that Priya has just enveloped over the presentation. So this is what we want. We want everybody to be happy. You can lift your boss if you want as well, no problem. But it has to be the right boss and the right team. So it's a happy team. One of my favorite quotes, Priya, is from Maya Angelou. I have learned that people will forget what you say. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And this is where what Priya had just taught us in terms of getting the best out of your emotions. So I want to just play a quick video to all of you on behalf of the industry and just show you how collaboration, because Priya, just quickly, before we play this video, emotion and improving team. How important is it, emotion, collaboration, and teamwork? Just a few words before I play this video.
Yeah. Today we need to work not individually, but we need to work collectively. as you know, there are many companies which will go in a very difficult situation after we go back to work. So it is more important than ever for you to remain, to be able to work together. So forget about competition between colleagues. Speak more about collaboration. Know that each and every one of you has a potential in different things. I cannot compete with your unique potential. You cannot compete with my unique potential. What we need to do is put our different unique potentials together so that as a team, as a whole, we are able to provide something which is excellent, an excellent result. So working together will help us get out of a situation better than anything else.
Okay, so let me play this video, Priya, before we conclude with final word of wisdom from yourself. Can you hear? Can you hear?
To build something truly great.
I'm going to play that again because I know some of you could not hear, so just bear with me. From current slide, here we go. Okay, right, I'm just going to play now. It's just going to take a few minutes to play. Here we go, off we go.
Imagine if you could build the best building in the world. Where would you start? To build something truly groundbreaking, you need to start with a very special place. A place with history and a bright future. You'll need to invest in people to bring the best and brightest into one place. You should start with an incredible vision of what could be. It's important to know exactly where to start and what you'll need to get your vision moving. A vision of this complexity will need many clever minds to realize, many disciplines to contribute along the way. You'll need a true understanding of what is really needed and an amazing design which answers and surpasses those needs. The best tools available and practitioners who can put them to work are the essence of an exemplary building. You'll need an inspiring place to nurture these ideas and to help the vision grow into a reality. A big room full of even bigger ideas. Sharing and learning from each other is vital if you're to realize your dream. Everyone who wants to see this building grow will need to be part of a strong collaborative effort to create a new way forward in building, design and construction. Experiment, prototype, look at things from every angle. Does it fit better here or there? How will this function 50 years from now? Is this building efficient? Will it be warm when we need it and cool when we don't? Before the first stone is laid, every single detail should be resolved. You'll need to build it more than once. Pioneer a new approach to building modelling, and if the tools you need don't yet exist, create them. Your design and ideas for the perfect building should be as flexible and accommodating as the building you strive to make. Understanding every detail and knowing where all the pieces fit is the key to realising your dream and seeing the vision turn into a reality. Orchestrating the complex process of blending steel, glass and concrete with wood, lights and fresh air to deliver the vision of the best building in the world is no mean feat. Meticulous planning and rigorous attention to detail will be the beating heart of this achievement. Only by integrating valid building data captured throughout the construction process can you make a cost-effective and lean building, one which will stand the test of time. This place will operate smoothly, have minimal impact on our environment, and be a flexible, connected, comfortable place where you can really concentrate on your performance.
Okay, so thank you very much indeed. Before we conclude, Priya, I had a few books which I read myself, and I wanted to share that with the audience. Very, very interesting book. Very good reviews on Amazon as well. This book is on emotional intelligence by Ian Tuhovsky. What makes emotional intelligence have such a big impact on our life? As human beings, we make most of our decisions and take most action based on our feeling and emotion. If we know how to control and navigate them, we thus gain the ability to better manage both our personal and professional life. Again, what you mentioned. And then finally, the other book which I wanted to share with you, Priya, I don't know if you may have it, is The Emotional Intelligence by Gil Hassan. And what Gil says, very interesting on this one. You mentioned that earlier as well, Priya. You have probably been noticed that it's not the smartest that are the most successful or the most fulfilling life. You have probably noticed that being clever, talented, or skilled is not enough. How well you do in your career may well depend on how well you get on with your client, managers, or colleague. Experience or qualification might get you the job, but it's the ability to manage other people and your interaction with them that will keep you there and enable to enjoy and progress in your work. Emotional intelligence can help you manage office politics and navigate the social complexities of the workplace. And finally, it goes on to say, and when you have cracked that nut, you are well positioned to manage a range of social implications, as you can see here. So before we finish, Priya, any word of wisdom you want to share with us? Your final advice we have 94 participants still here as well. We are right on a 2-hour workshop. We started at 4:45 and now it's 6:45. Your final word of wisdom before we finish.
Okay. Before finishing, I would like to tell all of you that what is important right now is not to be part of a collective fear. Okay? Be part of the people who are finding solutions. Don't aim at remaining here only to survive. Be here in order to thrive. And you can very well do that if you are able to control and manage your emotions.
And the young person as well, I'm sure many parents are watching us right now. What is your advice with the kids? Obviously, they will grow up as well as becoming professional, just like yourself, Priya. What's the advice for parents to kids in terms of emotional intelligence? Just like we send them to swimming or to karate classes, do you think it's important?
Yes, very important. So, but for right now, there are no classes on emotional intelligence for kids. What you can do as parents is when you learn about these things, teach them to your kids. Okay, it's already a good step to start with. So whatever you are learning, whatever has been told here, so start showing them how to be in control of their emotions. When you see that your kids are becoming negative, show them how to look at things in a different way so that they can already start feeling more positive about different situations right now, so that when they grow up, it will become easier for them to tackle situations in a more positive way than we have done.
Okay, excellent. All right, thank you very much indeed. I just want to share my screen a last time before we conclude. Show me the panel. Okay, so thank you, Priya. Just quickly in terms of CPD, Priya will be looking forward to come back again, I can assure you, because we will be talking about negotiation next time. And Priya, again, I think it's been an amazing CPD talk, but just quickly, forthcoming CPD will be health and safety on site, leadership through uncertainty, global lockdown experience. With the global lockdown experiences, we will have 9 participants from 9 parts of the world in different continents sharing their experience in terms of global lockdown in the construction industry. So take care, be safe. Priya, we can't thank you enough. Everybody, can you put your hands up raised, please, for the 2-hour workshop today that we received from Priya. Absolutely amazing. So thank you for your time, Priya. Thank you for giving your time, because I rang you last week and without any hesitation, without any two minds, you just went for it and said, Anil, I would like to give back. So thank you very much indeed. And thank you everybody for being here today as well. So again, I will issue your certificate of attendance. Please send me an email, no WhatsApp, please send me an email to request for your certificate, and Priya will share the slide as well later today. Have a good evening and have a great day, and be safe and take care. All right, everybody. Thank you very much indeed.